Welcome back, Initial Dweebs. Welcome to this episode of How Can We Fuck It Up Unnecessarily? This week, I want to inform you that I lost a whole lot of our footage. We pretty much got the interior on the car put together, and we're waiting to get the transmission in, the brakes on, the suspension in, all that good stuff. But we're gonna try and get you guys all the footage that we have, show you the time lapses that we have not unfortunately lost, and hopefully it will be entertaining, and then we will get you guys the episodes that are actually great of us putting that transmission in and getting the suspension on so you can see this car actually look like something cool. What's up, dweebs? Today's Saturday. We're out here trying to get the rest of the cut and buff done while the paint is still soft. Right now we still have a little bit of an open window before it starts to harden the rest of the way. I'm almost done with this hood right up here. Justin's on the other side, working on the fender. Shouldn't take us too much longer. We're gonna push it out into the sun and start the buff process. So I'm gonna set you guys up on a time lapse and follow us along. Alright, so this is what we're working with now. This is kind of what the car looked like when we started. You can see all the orange peel and stuff in here. That's what the cut and buff gets rid of. We got this side done. You can see how matte it looks right now. This is just the wet sanding. Justin's about to hit it with the buffer and some compounds here. You can see we got the whole side over here done. And then this over here, this stuff has all already been buffed with one of the stages of compound here.
Just been buffed with compound, no polishing compound yet.
Looks pretty good. Still looks just black. Of course, every time we come out, this is what we're dealing with. No sun breaks at all so that we could show this thing off. But it looks pretty great. So, more time lapse, guys. Alright, well, Justin's out there buffing. I'm not in here doing absolutely nothing. We're going for a more JDM look on the Celica. This piece here comes from a company called Goldco. They make mostly fiberglass slides and such, but they also happen to randomly make fiberglass Celica replica parts. So I got my bumpers from them, the front and the rear, and this piece, which actually takes the place of where the license plate sits on the American versions of the Celica. So in Japan, this piece sits in between the taillights, has a 2000 GT emblem that sits right here, which we are going to make at some point, but they come to you not finished. So what I need to do, along with the bumpers, is sand these down and make sure all of the imperfections, there's little nicks, things like that in this, that all have to be taken out. So while Justin is out there buffing on the Celica, I'm going to get that process started so that we can paint these. They're going to be black. And I think it's going to look really, really great. I'm really excited to not have the license plate in the middle. It just looks kind of bulky and obtrusive. So this is going to be awesome. So I've been sanding on this for a while. I was able to work out all the little cracks and crevices around this little center area. It looks nice and smooth. It's hard to see on the camera because there are so many different variations in the paint, in the fiberglass and all that, but it looks really great. It's super smooth, nice and uniform. I'm going to hit some of these little corner areas a little bit more, a little bit of the edges a little bit more. But other than that, this thing is ready for paint. This is the Celica's front valance. It was in really, really rough shape. It had been rock chipped to hell. This thing just had rust coming out of all the little tiny cracks you can see on the edge here. I had to hit it really hard with the wire wheel. This was the only place here and here that actually needed a little bit of filler. They were bent out on this side and in on this side. Before I started filming today, before I started doing my time lapses, I actually hit this thing with a DA, tried to knock it down a little bit to get rid of a little of the excess rust, but this, once these little spots have been taken down where this filler is at, this will be ready for paint. So we're going to prime it and paint it so that it matches in with the rest of the car. The bumpers here need a little bit more work than that. The edges are probably going to need a little bit of filler. You can see here some of the rougher spots that just came out of the mold a little wonky. Those all need to be filled in. So that's what I'm going to come out and work on tomorrow. But I feel pretty accomplished today. I got all of this knocked down and all the rock chips feel smooth. Nothing feels out of place. So yeah, we're going to be back at it again tomorrow. So I'm doing something a little bit different today. Today I'm working on the Celica's door panels. I decided I really just think this carpet here is super tacky. I don't like it. It's dirty, it's old, it's faded. It's gotta go. You can see in the other door card here, I was already able to get all that carpet off. And what's underneath is just this simple cardboard, pressed board, whatever you'd like to call it. And then I went ahead and sprayed a new fresh coat of black vinyl over the top of this, also covering up the old faded wood grain. Not a fan of that either. It all has to go. So yeah, this is what this looks like now, and I'm going to work on getting the other one to this stage so that I can start laying down the satin and the lace at the bottom. We have everything out here, laid out. We're about to spray them with some fresh, plain black vinyl paint. The door cards had the shag carpet on them, and I hated it. Hated it so much. I didn't like the wood grain, so I tore it off. Carpet's here. The door cards look much better. I did them in the same pattern that I did the headliner in. So that's the quarter panel there. And the door cards are sitting on this side over here. They look so much better. Now I just want all the rest of the interior to match in with those as best I can. You can see just a little touch of femininity in there. I want all the faded gray to go away. Back here I resprayed these already. So the goal today is to get the rest of the interior matched up to that, and we'll let you guys follow along with us. Just a few updates. Some stuff we did off camera is all finished now, so I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a walk around the car, let you see everything that I got done. This is the door panel that I was working on. The lace is all on there. We're waiting to get all of the attachments put on until later because the rollers inside the window, there's some bushings and things like that that have just gotten really old, really crusty. They've fallen apart, so the window doesn't roll up and down very smoothly. When it does roll up, it's in there crooked, doesn't seal correctly. That's the last thing we want, is water dripping in here on the nice new door panels that I finished. So we're ordering the parts to get that done. The cut and buff is completely finished on the car. It's a little dusty and dirty right now, just because the shop is dusty and dirty. So I can't really give you a good look at that. I've gotten a lot of the interior stuff completed and painted. The bumpers are on the car now.
Look at it. It looks amazing. JDM, JDM. We got the JDM self-tapping screws holding the license plate on. You know how we do around here. We got the front and rear JDM bumpers installed. It turned out really good and they fit really nice. So we have those, the fender mirrors. We have the rear bumper right here. Also looks really good. We also got the JDM license plate delete, and we got to get a little badge that goes in there. Got the hatch painted. We got these new wheels on here. And then as far as the interior, we got the interior all back together. We had this wood grain. It was an NRG wood grain. We used old leftover paint from the MR2.
This was really important to me to kind of tie the MR2 back into this car, because the MR2 was very important to me, and it means a little something that I'm bringing it into the Celica.
Yep, so we used the same flake that we used on the Celica, this flake right here on the wheel, so that's cool. And then we painted this back surround here.
Wanted all the wood grain out of here. I'm not a fan. I know I've said that in a couple of different videos. Just not my style. The sparkle though, A+.
Yep, so we have that. This matches as well.
There's still a little bit of work to be done in here, but we want to get this 5-speed into here before we try to put all this back together. We don't want to have to take things apart again and again. So just delete a little bit of unnecessary work.
Yep, and the center console is also matching that. And
yes,
as far as we got a JSP shift knob that also matches that as well. Jam did this headliner here. It's like a lace. It looks really nice.
Right. So we got like a nice fabric underneath, the lace on top. We decided that it would be a good idea to get rid of the carpet on the bottom of the doors. It's just tacky. Didn't fit my style. So I took the same fabric from the headliner and moved it over to the door cards as well. Those are also not done. We've got a little bit of work to do inside the doors to make sure that the windows can roll up and down properly. We want everything to seal. I don't want any water coming in here. Nobody wants more rust.
We basically got everything on the car done, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to be doing the 5-speed swap, installing a new carburetor, new brakes, new everything so that it's actually drivable. And we also picked up these coilovers. We have D2 coilovers for the rear of an 8.6, and that's what's going to be going on the rear of these things. We have AE92 coilovers we got for $60, and they're in pretty good condition still, that I'm actually going to cut these brackets off. And since this bottom mount is steel, I'm actually going to cut the strut casing off of the stock Celica spindle and weld this strut casing onto it. So it's going to convert the front of the Celica to AE92 coilovers. The back of the Celica is going to be AE86 coilovers. So it's going to be on coilovers. It's going to have brand new everything.
All right, dweebs, thanks for coming to hang out with me. Thanks for checking out my time lapses and checking out all the work that we've got done on the Celica so far. There's a lot more to come. Next time we record, we're gonna be getting that 5-speed swap in here, making this thing manual and making it a little more sporty. We're gonna get the suspension on here and then start on some of the little upgrades that we needed to do, you know, just the maintenance stuff. We need to do the spark plugs and wires and all that good stuff. But I hope you guys stick around, and I hope you guys like, share, subscribe, and tune into the next video when we get some more exciting stuff done.